Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling better than Jerome Powell this morning. He's got a big day ahead of him. And we all got a big day ahead of us. We got some crazy earnings after hours. We got the FOMC meeting today. We got a full agenda. I don't know. Well, I don't think the morning should be. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't think the morning should be affected too much by the Fed because they only come out at 2 p.m. Eastern. So I don't think we're gonna get like crazy moves, which is why I said I don't think they could be affected. But at the same time, we could also have a little quiet before the storm. We could be in the eye of some kind of hurricane, tornado, whatever has eyes. But we will see. That being said, we are gapping down slightly on the SPY. So inside day could help the case that we might not do too much. It is a gap down. I'd be looking for some kind of support around 403.96. Maybe slightly lower, 403.85. So a little bit of a inside day, just kind of hanging out, and we'll see if we want to break. But we got all you guys ready to go, and that's what I like to see. Good morning, Chuck. We got Agnes. We got Al. Albert's in the house. Alex. Good morning, Amy. We got Attorney Dan. Good morning, Babic. Bill is with us. Brian is in the house. Good morning, Cedric. David is here. Eric, Jenny, Greg, Jason, Jay, Joe, Jose, Juan. I can't just be Juan. It's got to be Juan Pablo Khan. Flows. Good morning, Kyle, Rick, my boy Rock. TB12 retired today again. He retired for the first time ever again today. So, Tom Brady, good luck on your journey. See you next season. Good morning, Ron. We got Sam in the house. We got Sue. Tana's with us. Tony. Tyler's hanging out. I love it. Rock says, I know, crazy. Yeah, that should last a good solid month and a half. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens to TB. Good morning, all my family in YouTube land. We got Jerome with us. We got Richard, Ernesto. You guys are incredible. So, yeah, like I said, SPY right now, kind of just hanging out. We do have some movers in the market today, though, just based on earnings. Qs. Again, inside day, technically, slight, tiny little gap down, technically, but we're still at the very top of the range. If we get a pullback, I'd be watching for 293.17 for support. I don't know if we short the. It's been a very tough market to short. I don't know if we try to make a short if we get some kind of pullback, or just stick with the trend. The bullish direction, I think, is still going to be easier, at least up till 2 p.m. Until the Fed comes. That being said, I do expect maybe a little bit of a chop. Qs look decent, though. So even though we are gapping down a little bit, here's our little profit-taking candle that we had 2 days ago. We were technically above that in the higher of the range yesterday. So out of the gate, tech does look a little bit strong. Let's get to the Snaposaurus. Snaposaurus got absolutely brutally beaten yesterday. After hours, pre-market, we've had a little bit of a rally back. I think 977-ish was the low from the move. It was a bad report. There was like one shiny bit of like hope in there, is that I think they had 500,000 new users. So you're like, okay, growing a little bit, missed on earnings per share, missed on revenue. I think they were pretty much in line with, they were pretty much in line. I think they made like 1.3 billion or something less last quarter, but that's pretty much where they were at the identical quarter last year. And they also had about a 20% cut in workforce during the quarter as well. So yes, their numbers are looking good, but the effects of firing 20% of the staff didn't really quite show. Didn't Snap? Yeah, and that's I would say the last two times Snap came out, they affected the market big time. Like Snap dropped, and so did the rest of the market with it on those earnings. They are early to the game because they're a tech company. So anything tech related is going to be like, okay, what's this tech company doing? They're advertising. So you have, all right, is the advertising portion of it still holding? All that. I mean, it's Snap, right? It's unfortunate because this is Snapchat. It's not the greatest company in the world. I mean, I made a lot of money off Snapchat, but it's not in anywhere near comparison to like Meta or Google or Amazon. It's Snapchat. So, but the entire market was moving. Last 2 quarters, this one we didn't really. So maybe we get a little decoupling from the market and Snapchat. We'll see. But pretty big gap down. It's a massive move. We are under the 10 EMA on a daily chart. We're above or below 3 decently bullish candles, breakout candles. And the only thing with this one that's going to make it a little tough is probably this $10 range, 10.03. That would be the pullback, but I'll keep it on the list to watch. It might be a little, even though this is technically a gap and go and a decent one. We do have a few levels of support. This dotted line is pretty much where we stalled out after hours on the earnings. So somewhere around that 980, 977 zone, which I would expect to be support. So how I would think I would play this one is actually, if I'm going to day trade this one at all, my plan on this would be not to go short, even though it's good location. See how close we can get to here. Just only because, again, risk reward, we have the market, it held up pretty well at that 980, we'll call it 980 zone. If I could get some kind of a buy entry in there, just to take a quick stab in the dark at it, right? That would be my entry, and then probably have some kind of stops down around 950. So it gives me about 30 cents of risk to reward. Again, be looking for some kind of a bounce and then just kind of come back, something like that. If that happens, and I'm not sure if we get that initial sell-off or not, but if we get that, I'd probably be more than willing to go bullish on Snapchat, just as it's a big drop, but it would have to come down as we just ran up a little bit pre-market. Dan's coming in with the heat today. He got a whole list. All right, we'll cover it. We'll get there. And then Babak says NVS. The other one to watch is EA with a pretty ugly gap down as well. EA, I would be considering. I think I want this one for the long term potentially. It's not a bad price. I mean, we're back to, I think, September lows. So we're just getting kind of another stab in the dark for maybe a monthly deposit into it, potentially. But again, technically, this is a retest gap. It is a massive gap, but we are at some type of support. And historically, anytime these gaming companies have taken dips, they've been buy opportunities. So I would say somewhere down here, again, EA is going to be on my list to look to go long as well, just seeing if we can get any type of bounce in this one. Not, again, out of the gate, but we'll see with the first. Maybe we get that 3-minute high wave candle you guys know I like. Let's add this one to the list. We will see. Jose's in the house. Good morning, Jose. Where's that annotate thing? There we go. Let's take this off. Beautiful. Take a look at NVS. Nope. Definitely that's not it. NVS. I added an extra letter in there. NVS, good little gap down. Still at a little bit of support. Targets on this thing to me would be maybe we get down to like 85.64. Is going to be a very, very strong spot. And if that is my target, all right, so if this becomes my target, this is probably the high end of the range, somewhere up in there. We're about 50% on this move. So I probably wouldn't take something out of the gate on this one unless you could really make those R's work for you, but you're going to have a tighter setup. If you want to go long on this one, try to get as close as possible to somewhere under $86 would be the spot to go long. If you want to attempt to go short, you're probably going to be looking somewhere closer to about 89. We'll call it 89, 50, 89, 60, somewhere up in that range. But somewhere above 89. So that would be my short. We're dead smack in the middle, meaning that I don't have a good risk reward. I could take a gamble and probably pull an R out, but I don't know how much odds are in my favor. It is a pretty hefty gap down. A little bit of level of support. Most likely what I think happens is we'll have the opportunity to short higher. So I would just predicting, we'll see how this thing wants to open, but I think we do get that initial bounce higher. And then I'd be a little more interested in maybe going short here. And again, I could probably take the long in that zone, but I don't think my risk reward is that great. So I'd be looking for that kind of rollover, and then maybe throughout the day somewhere we could finally get down to that, or maybe even tomorrow it happens. Today could be a big old retest candle. It does nothing, doesn't pull back, and then the follow through finally gets us down there. But that would be my target on this. Malone says, do we look at meta? We have not. We have not done that yet. Let's take a look at some of Dan's picks. BIDU. So we got Baidu. All right. Decent gap up. That is a gap and go. Slight little resistance. But we're clearing a lot on this one. I would wait for one candle red to come in. I don't know if you want to try to buy the sell-off on it, but it's got a big move. If it comes down to retest 141.42, that might be decent. I don't know if we get that big of a pullback, honestly, with this one. Here's a lot of volume that came in on this high wave. It is at the high, so I do expect you're gapping after a big, massive move. Right, so right at this point, you probably have a lot of people profitable that are just winning for no reason. And you probably do get some profit taking on this one, but this is a gap and go. I probably would not play this one short. I'd probably only play it long. So let's see. So it's a decent gap, though. Let's see if we can put this one to the list as well to look bullish. I think I got it on the list already somewhere. It's hiding out somewhere. At least I thought so. BIDU. All right, now it's definitely on the list. All right. MSGM. What is this one? Motorsport Games. Could be reacting potentially off of EA. Yeah, why do I have this? How do I get this Baidu thing off? I think I clicked the wrong symbol. I don't know how to get that comparison off. Well, that's not going to be fun. Debt for equity deal with okay. Debt with equity deal for MSGM. Yeah, I mean this is a massive move. I mean crazy. We looks like we put that one in yesterday, and then pre-market. Not sure where we're opening pre-market. This is a little too wonky for what I normally trade for more motorsport games. So I'd probably personally leave that one alone. I wonder if the next ticker symbol. Let's take a look at AMD. How do I get this Baidu off? I don't want Baidu anymore. Oh. All right, just hit delete, I guess. AMD does look really nice. So they had earnings. They looked fairly well. They beat pretty much in all aspects of it. I think Lisa Su did a good job in the conference call. I did listen to the conference call last night. She's very good with investors. I mean, she knows how to kind of work the markets a little bit. We have a nice little, almost out of that previous pivot completely, not quite there, but this is a retest. So I would expect a retest, small candle. Again, AMD is going to be very, very high on the list. Does look like a nice gap. Let's try to come up with some targets on this one real quick. I'll do that with Fibs. And we'll just get an idea for where the 50% mark is on AMD from this downtrend. That would probably take us a little bit closer to target, see how much room we have to work. Yeah, not to, it's about $80 is about the 50%. So we did hit that twice already. Both times we hit that, volume did decrease. So it is a little bit more likely that that does break. And then at that point, we're looking for the 618, which would take us to what is that, $85.46, something like that. So we do have a lot of room to run to the higher side on AMD if we get a break, but give me some kind of pullback on this one first. Some kind of red candle out of the gate, something like that, but fairly good earnings. They've been doing good earnings for quite some time. I think still a little bit of a potential overvalue, just considering the dilute shareholders like crazy. Been doing that for years, but not bad. So good little gap there. So we got AMD up on the list. So let's throw EA higher. MO, I think, was up today. They beat on earnings. So they had earnings pre-market. They also bought back $1 billion worth of shares. So anybody holding MO, that's a good sign. Day trade wise on MO, I don't really day trade it. So kind of moves a little bit slower. Just want to get this list together. And at some point, I'll probably take some tickers off because this list is it's growing. All right. Maloney wants to look at Meta, then we'll get back to Dan's list. Yeah. A little bit of a gap down. This is going to be, and when's their earnings? It's today? Yep. So they have earnings after the bell. So be careful of that. You might have a little fear coming into this one today, specifically because we have Snapchat just reported. And if you have anything to kind of compare it to, it would be that one. Still inside kind of that little breakdown candle. Does look good. I'm guessing you're looking for a short. That would be a gap and go. First target on this one will probably be about 146.53. And then second target is where we make the money. That's 143.83. So if we think we can get through that first target, it's not a bad attempt in a short direction. Obviously, bullish has been the shorter term trend. And I think it will have the ability to decouple from Snapchat, right? Even from earnings. So I think at some point, I believe even last quarter, we had Snapchat just massive gap down, and then Meta actually ran. And then we also had vice versa too. We had Snapchat down again, and Meta just got absolutely crushed on earnings as well. So we'll see what happens on this one. But the only thing that I would be a little bit hesitant, two things. One, we are fighting the trend, the shorter term trend. And two, we do have earnings coming out tonight. So we could get a little effect from both of those in how this one wants to trade, if it wants to trade a little wonky or not. All right, we got Amazon. Amazon out of the gate, I think there's a little bit, I think some of the other companies might be a little bit better for moves. If I had to play this thing, it would be bullish. Just because we're above yesterday's VPOC, looks like we're still holding that one, but inside day for right now. So out of the gate, this one might be one to watch a little bit later in the day and just seeing if we can get any patterns we like. And again, I'd probably just want to stick to the trend on this one and play it as bullish as possible. But it is inside day, and I think there's a couple other stocks that I probably want to focus on more out of the gate. Starbucks, typically a slow mover, so not a big range on this one. Again, on Starbucks, trend is bullish, has been for a decent amount of time now, and we're at the upper third of yesterday's range. We do have a little bit of resistance above us, and it is inside day. So again, I just don't know who's really being trapped on this one out of the gate. So we'd have to kind of wait for some kind of setup that we really like on Starbucks to kind of come in. NOC. Right at that bigger volume area. This one is a gap up slightly. Obviously, the trend has been kind of coming down a little bit. We are above that longer term VPOC, but this is a retest gap. It's very small. I think this one comes back for the retest. So if you do want to play it long, I would try to get, well, two locations. One is probably somewhere around 448.11. The second one would be about 447, somewhere in that zone, which would be off of yesterday's VPOC. And then you're kind of looking for some kind of a bounce on this one, but it's a very, very small gap, still very much so inside this big downtrend candle. And you do have that 10 EMA kind of coming down on us, so that's going to prohibit probably some of the bullishness that it could get as far as continuation to maybe move higher. I do own, for full disclosure, I do own some Northrop Grumman in the long term. I'm not looking to sell it. My price on it was during COVID time, and I'm up like massively on it. Plus, I think they have dividends too. WBD, same thing. Not really too much of a gap. We're just kind of chilling at the upper range. Again, if I had to pick a direction, it would probably be bullish, just to play some continuations. But gap wise, nothing too crazy. And then BBY for the best buy. Looks like it's been the best buy for a couple months now. Decent. Again, you're just sitting at the higher end of yesterday's range. See if we get a little pullback in this thing before buying, but I'd be leaning toward the bullish direction, trying to buy a dip on this one, as long as it's not close to 2 p.m. All right, let's see. Sympathy play, because Snap crashed. Yeah, but I kind of expect, I think I would be more interested in buying Snap long on a dip. And if I want to go a little bit more bullish on Snapchat, I'd probably also be feeling the same thing if Meta is going to be a sympathy play for Snap. So if we could get another sell-off to that 980 zone on Snap, I would actually be a buyer, not because I think it's great, not because I think it's an amazing trade that's guaranteed to work, just risk reward. I know where my stops are, and I could get a pretty tight setup with looking for some kind of a bounce. All right, we got, pins you're saying might be a sympathy? Yeah, pins I can see being sympathy. Did that one sell off yesterday? I didn't watch that one yesterday. I had Snapchat and I had Meta on the screen. So you got pins. I mean, this thing's been this thing kind of just trades all over the place. I mean, massive move down, massive move up, down, up. Like, these are all pretty big moves. The overall trend has been steadily rising after we got out of what appears to be some kind of little pennant pattern. So that looks decent. But we are still kind of just inside day with nothing too crazy on. It's not like it's gapping out. I'd prefer, if I was to go sympathy, I would probably be looking for Meta over pins at least for right now, until something crazier happens on pins. And let's see when pins earnings are. Is that today as well? Nope. Next Monday. So Monday is the pins earnings. So we have a little bit of time for that. Looks fantastic. EAT. Nope. This would be a retest, and we are at some kind of resistance. I would actually be looking to fade this one short, but it's a nice gap. I'd probably see if we could get some kind of a pullback retrace on this one. That's a decent looking resistance zone. This is a pretty nice gap on this one. So I'd probably look for a short rather than a long. And if you want to go long, at least be patient, wait for that pullback to come in. All right. In YouTube land, we got CRM. I don't know if we checked out Baba, but Baidu looked interesting. And I want to see if Baba's moving similar to it. So we'll check that one out next. CRM. If anything, you're looking for a continuation on this one as well. Yep. So again, I probably wouldn't be the first one to buy long. See if we get any type of initial bounce down into the 166.55 zone. So give me some kind of pullback, as we have run decently, and it's an inside day. So I think patience will pay on this one. But yeah, again, I kind of have to think bullish. Bullish until probably 172, 172.25. See if we get that continued run. Very nice close yesterday above a whole bunch of different pivots. But again, now that we finally broke those pivots, I do expect some selling to come in. You have a lot of people kind of profitable when everybody's opinion in the market changes so drastically. It's crazy. Like, company's going to zero, it's horrible. And then it goes up $1. Like, it's the best company ever. I don't think people are watching some of those. I don't think people are actually paying attention to the companies themselves, more so their portfolio, to determine if a company's good or not. It's kind of crazy. All right. Any other tickers out there? Looks like we got 5 more minutes left. Let's take a look real quick at BABA. Walgreens. All right. We'll take a look at that one. FDX. Roblox. All right. Pre-market on BABA. So same thing, little gap up. Technically, it's a retest gap, but you're clearing at least the ladder as to where people were selling. So I can see a little bit of trap in BABA as well. And again, Baidu might be strong. Baidu had a nicer gap than BABA does, but this could be a sneaky little play on BABA too. This would be a sympathy to Baidu. And then targets on this one could get us up to about 114.73. So it gives us about, if everything goes perfectly, $2.73 of potential reward. So some of the Chinese names look okay today. Kind of hanging out. Did I look at Tesla? No. Yeah. Why didn't I look at Tesla? And then we'll take a look at Roblox as well. What's the Jennifer? What's the Walgreens? Is it WMT ticker? I'm trying to think of it off my top of my head. WBA. Yep, that's it. I knew it was something strange, something that like you wouldn't associate because they're Boot Alliance or something, right? Technically. All right, we have inside day on Tesla, or actually no, not inside day, but inside this previous range, and it is technically inside day at the very, very top of yesterday. Again, I'll be looking for continuation in a bullish direction. Strong stop over at 178.06. Could be a little tricky out of the gate, but we'll have it on the list. And again, I do want to lean probably a little bit more bullish on Tesla today as well. Let's take a look at the Boots Alliance, aka Walgreens. Slinging those boots. We are gapping up, still in a little bit of probably chop resistance zone. Look for some kind of fade. The lower you could buy it, but yeah, nice double bottom. You are putting in some low or higher lows. Might even be decent for a swing trade. Actually, hold on, pre-market. I don't know if that just jumped or that's a decent location. All right, we're gonna add this one to the list as well. We're gonna look for a bullish play on this one. WBA. We'll swing this one on up. Just so we have a decent list out of the gate. Throw that around there. All right. Roblox, RBLX. This one kind of looks like it's a little chop zone. Yep, I would need some kind of a break first. So I wouldn't go bullish or bearish on this one. Short-term trend has obviously been slight to the bullish side. If we do close this gap, I'd be looking for about 39.40, but I don't know how much. I don't know how much of that would happen today. We're kind of just trapped a little bit. FDX. Same thing. This one's kind of just hanging out. So nice, almost bullish engulfing candle yesterday. If that green candle was a little bit lower, it would look cleaner, but very, very good close. We are sitting at some type of potential support. Yeah, see if we could play that trend. If I could get that if I can get that pullback, if I want to try that, if I can get good spots to put stops that are pretty clear to me, that would make sense. But if it was down a little bit more, we'd have a better risk to reward. So I'd have to wait for a pullback on this one if I wanted to get it in as well. But looks like we have about 18 seconds. Unfortunately, YouTube land, this is the time where I have to disconnect. You guys are incredible. Make sure you guys go to reallifetrading.com. We do have free education courses, beginner, intermediate, advanced, all listed for free, 100% off on the website. Check those out. You guys are incredible, and we'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Be safe.